Hey everybody, it is Dak here from the Ed Boys, and welcome to my 1 to 99 cooking guide. Cooking is a simple and quick skill to train, so this shouldn't be a very long one. In this guide, we'll start by going over some quests to help you out with your early cooking gains. Then we'll talk about a few different viable locations for where to actually do your cooking. After that, we'll knock out the typical 1 to 99 guide, which is the route that I would use for 99 cooking. And finally, we'll talk about a couple of alt methods for getting cooking XP. If you've been enjoying the guides or just getting some useful information, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. There's a few easy quests you can knock out to skip some of the early cooking levels. First, we have Cook's Assistant, which will take you from 1 to 4 cooking. Then Gertrude's Cat will give you another 1.5k XP-ish, jumping you up to 12. From there, I would send the Goblin General Recipe for Disasters subquest. It's very easy to complete, and it gives you another 1k cooking XP, putting you up to 16 cooking to start. Each of the Recipe for Disasters subquests give a little cooking XP, and a few of them are pretty easy to do. Overall, I've left the wiki's full list of quest XP rewards linked in the description. One other quest I want to mention is the Family Crest. This quest doesn't give any cooking XP, but you will be rewarded with these steel gauntlets, which you can turn into the cooking gauntlets at the chef located in Catherby. The cooking gauntlets decrease your chance of burning a few different kinds of fish that will be brought up in this guide, so they can help out your XP rates quite a lot and just overall how many raw fish you're going to have to buy. I highly suggest getting these cooking gauntlets. There's a few different spots where you can cook. Cooking is really just taking raw food out of the bank, cooking it, and then re-banking. So the closer your cooking spot is to a bank, the faster it's going to be. The Rogue's Den is located under the bar in Burthorpe. It has a great starting fire there that is 0 squares away from Emerald Benedict, who is the banker, and there's no requirements to get into the Rogue's Den. The Myths Guild has a stove that is 0 squares from the banker, which is the same as the Rogue's Den, but stoves have a better cooking rate than a fire, so you're gonna burn less food here. You do have to complete Dragon Slayer 2, which is a high level quest, so this is not really like a low level place for cooking, but it is very good. The spot that I highly suggest doing most of your cooking is the Hosidius Kitchen, located in Great Corend. You will need to complete the Easy Corend and Kabos diaries to have access to these ovens, but they also decrease your chance of burning food by 5%. That's a 10% if you do complete the Elite diaries instead, but those require some high levels to get done, including 84 cooking. The ovens are not 0 squares from a bank chest, but it is overall better to be burning less food. I usually cook somewhere from 1,300 to 1,350 fish per hour at the Hosidius Kitchen, and this would include any of the fish that you're burning as well. Once you're at a level where you're not burning any fish, it is technically faster to go back to one of the fires or the stove that's 0 squares away from the bank. But if you're burning any fish, then you want to be doing this at the Hosidius Kitchen to burn less. Now let's jump into the leveling guide with the route that I would take to 99 cooking, which is basically just a bunch of fish, but it's also nice since cooking fish makes a little bit of profit. Levels 1 to 15, I would cook sardines. You're going to need to cook 61 sardines for this level. You will be burning a good chunk of them early on, so for any of these fish, you're going to have to buy extra raw fish until you hit the level where you're not burning them anymore. 15 to 25 cooking, you can cook trout, which will require 78 cooked fish for these levels. Levels 25 to 30, you can switch to salmon, and you'll have to cook 62 of them. 30 to 40 cooking, I would switch to tuna. You'll need to cook 239 of them to get to 40 fishing. So for these first few fish, you don't need to cook that many of them overall. You're going to be switching fish fairly often, and since you're burning some of them as well, you might need to buy extras if you burn too many. So it's not a bad idea to just light a fire and cook them at the Grand Exchange for your first chunk of levels. If you're annoyed with having to like travel back to the GE all the time, you might not even have to light your own fire, since a lot of players are training fire making at the Grand Exchange. From 40 all the way to 68, you should cook lobsters. At level 60 cooking is when you're going to stop burning lobsters if you're cooking at the Hosidius Kitchen, as well as using cooking gauntlets. If you're not at the Hosidius Kitchen, but you do have the cooking gauntlets, you do stop burning at 64 cooking. That's when it would be technically better to move to the Rogue's Den, since it's less of a bank trip, but I usually just stay at the Hosidius Kitchen, to be honest. 40 to 60 will require 1,971 cooked lobster, and then levels 60 to 68, you'll need 2,761 more. That's a total of 4,732 cooked lobster, but 60 to 68 you won't have to buy any extras since you won't be burning them anymore. 68 to 80 cooking, I would send monkfish. You do stop burning monkfish after these levels, so unfortunately you're back to buying some extra fish. You should still use the Hosidius Kitchen and cooking gauntlets, of course. You'll need to successfully cook 9,207 monkfish for these levels. At level 80, I would switch to sharks. 80 to 84 requires 4,597 sharks. With cooking gauntlets at the Hosidius Kitchen, you stop burning these at 89 cooking, so you do need some extra fish for these first few levels. You can go all the way to 99 cooking cooking with sharks, the XP rates are solid, and it's better profit than cooking anglerfish. 80 to 99 cooking requires 13,602 sharks, and from there you don't have to buy any extras. 89 to 99 cooking will require 39,011 sharks. 84 to 99, I would go for anglerfish for a little bit better XP per hour than the sharks. At the Hosidius Kitchen with the gauntlets, you stop burning at 93. If you have the elite Korin Diaries, you'll actually stop burning at level 87. 84 to 93 cooking requires 18,454 anglerfish. And then 93 to 99, when you're no longer burning, is another 25,387 anglers, for a total of 43,840 total cooked fish in these levels. Each of the fish we just listed off in this normal method does make a little bit of profit. Most of it's right around 1/2 GP per XP. So if you're getting 200k XP an hour, you're probably making about 100k GP. Those sharks are closer to 1 GP per XP. There's a couple other methods you can use for cooking XP, starting with another fish option, carambuans. You will need to complete the Taibu Wanai Trio quest to be able to cook carambuans. Otherwise, you can only cook poisoned ones instead. To be fair, one tick cooking poisoned carambuans is the fastest XP to get from levels 1 to 30. At 30 cooking is when you can cook them normally instead of getting poison ones. From level 30 to 80, cooking carambuan is going to be better XP per hour than the regular fish, but you're also losing a little bit of money since you're going to be burning a decent amount of them. The perk with carambuans is that you can also one tick cook them. By holding down your spacebar and then using a raw carambuan on the range once every tick, you're going to cook them without any delay. At perfect rates, you can get 500k to 900k cooking XP an hour, depending on your cooking level and how many you are burning. Unfortunately, the cooking gauntlets do not help with the burn rate of carambuans. Keeping up a perfect rate of 1 tick cooking for a full hour is very difficult though. The nice part about this, in my opinion, is that you can send a few inventories of 1 tick cooking for some speedy rates, and then whenever you need a break from that, you can still just auto cook the inventory. You don't have to change your setup or locations or anything to just do some chill AFK cooking as well. If you go to your in-game settings and you change your game client layout to resizable modern layout, you can zoom in and position your camera to make for less distance from carambuan to range, making this a little bit easier to do. When you're not burning carambuans, you do make like 0.5 GP per XP, so you can still get a little bit of cash while you do this as well. Finally, we have jugs of wine. You can start making these at 35 cooking, but you'll stop failing them at 68, so that's when I would personally get started on them. To make a jug of wine, you need to use grapes on a jug of water. This will create an unfermented wine, and in 12 seconds, it's going to ferment. The interesting thing here is that the 12-second timer will reset every time you make another wine, so you won't get any of your XP until you stop making wines for a bit, but it stacks up that XP drop. So basically, you can just get all the XP at once, which is kind of fun. It doesn't really affect the XP rates at all. You can make just under 2,500 jugs of wine per hour, which is about 490k XP an hour. This does cost money rather than making profit, but you're going to get a higher level faster, and then you can make up for the money spent at better money makers than cooking. I think that's about everything I wanted to talk about when it comes to cooking gains, everyone. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you enjoyed the video or you just got some useful information, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Thank you for watching, and best of luck on your cooking grinds.